Hi all, welcome to the final whistle. It's match preview night then. Leicester City versus Coventry City in the M69 Derby opener to the season then. It's the first match preview of the season. Welcome to the match preview. I'll be joined shortly by Ken Stewart from Sky Blue Fans TV. He'll be giving me a very good insight into the Sky Blues. We'll be talking about Coventry's transfer business, how they're going to approach this season, where they're going to finish, what Ken thinks of Leicester. I mean, I'm sure Ken loves Leicester, really. No, we're going to be chatting to Ken. We'll talk about last season with the playoffs and that, and look ahead to the game itself. We'll go through foot in both camps. There's quite a few who Ken might recognise in this one, so we're going to ask him about it. Obviously, I picked him out, so we'll see what happens. Guys, as always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, then please do so. It helps out massively. And let's see who's in the comments. So we've got Callum in. Hi, Callum. How are you, mate? I'm going with mighty Leicester to win 3-1 against Coventry. Vardy to score twice and Doyle to score a header. Yeah, if you enjoyed the show, please remember to hit the like button, share, subscribe to the channel. Your support is much appreciated. Thank you, moderator. Let's get my guest in then, Mr. Ken Stewart from Sky Blue Fans TV. Ken, how are you, mate?
Good evening, mate. How are you? All right?
I'm all right, pal. How are you? Have you had a good summer, Ken?
I had a good summer, mate. Yeah, we had to recover from our heartbreak at Wembley with the playoffs, but that took a bit of recovering. But we're all raring to go now. I think we're just about ready. Had a little break and all ready to go for the new season.
So you're excited for the new season, then, Ken? Following the
what a game to start with, eh?
I know. Who'd have thought it? Leicester Coventry, first game of the season, M69 Derby. It's one that both sets of fans are going to relish, aren't they? Ahead of the big opener.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. I mean, we haven't played each other. I think probably 10, 11 years, is it? It's been a while.
Yeah, 11 years.
So I'm looking forward to it. Really, nice to have another local team in the league, so we're not much to cut down on the travelling. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I think both sets of supporters will be well up for it. And it's a Sunday, 12 o'clock, live on Sky. What more can you ask for?
We had a lot last season with Forest fans. It were like, why are you putting us as local rivals? Coventry, your main rivals. You'll be seeing them next season. You know, M69 Derbies are, it's what you look forward to as fans this season. And obviously, we're going to play you home and away. So it's going to be exciting to see how both teams have prepped themselves ahead of the new season. Ken, we're going to get on to the opposition first, actually, mate. Coventry City. Talk to me about last season, mate. How did last season go for you? Obviously, 5th place finish. You got in the playoffs. Coquerez was your top scorer. How did you find last season?
I thought last season for us was we finished. Nobody expected it. If you'd asked me at the start of the season, we'd be in the playoff final. I'd have probably laughed at you and thought, no way. But because I didn't think we were ready for that. But as you know, the Championship is a crazy league, and anybody can beat anybody on the day. And if you put a good run together, which we did in the latter part of the season, and we kept a lot of clean sheets, which win games, that helped us. And at the end of the day, I thought we deserved it really to finish where we did. Certainly for the second half of the season, we played some fantastic football. We don't hoof the ball up down the field. We play football. We play out from the back. You'll see that on Sunday, and we've got players that can do that. And so, I thought we deserved. I thought, it's games really. We probably could have had at least another 9 points. and that would probably have got us up automatically. Games we threw away, where we should have won and we didn't. But it was a fantastic season for us in the end. We didn't expect it, and sometimes that's what happens in football. You don't expect things, and it comes to you, and you got to take it when you got the chance. And we just sort of ran out of luck, I suppose, at Wembley on penalties. Penalties is anything can happen, can't it? As we all know, 50-50, and you make a mistake, you lose, and that's simple as that. You've got to score, and unfortunately, we were the ones on the receiving end at Wembley, which is not very nice feeling.
No, playoffs is like the biggest factor in it in the Championship.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think it's got like the most money, hasn't it, in it?
Yeah, richest game, isn't it? Richest game in the league.
We've obviously had heartbreakers, Leicester fans, playing against Watford and Cardiff in the semi-finals of the playoffs. Been to the playoffs a few times. Obviously, Leicester won it. Coventry fell short just on penalty shootout, but one team had to go up, didn't they? It's just, for you guys, it's just a shame that both teams couldn't do it. But I don't know. It's an odd one. Ken, how have Coventry prepped for the season, mate? Your transfer business has gone quite smoothly, hasn't it, with Mark Robbins? You brought in Sakamoto. You brought in Ellis Sims from Everton. You've had a quite good transfer window, haven't you, as a Coventry fan? Obviously, with Gokaret's going to Sporting Lisbon as well. I think you brought kind of like you spent the money quite well, haven't you? Like with the Gokaret's money.
Yeah, because we're not used to spending money, to be honest. We normally pick up free transfers or low cost loans or something like that. We very rarely spend money. And Mark Robbins has done a fantastic job at our club over the years, spending hardly anything and keeping the team together to get promoted. You got to remember we were down in League Two at one stage, and he got promoted, and then got League One, got promoted during COVID and stuff, and then we're in the Championship, and we're certainly holding our own. So we're spending a bit of money now because we've got a new owner called Doug King. He's come in and took over the club. He's injected a bit of cash. We've obviously sold Victor Gorkres for reported 20 million. It was an undisclosed fee, but we believe it's around the 20 million mark.
Yep.
So he's spending some of that money, and he's bringing in quality signings, to be fair, and I've been quite impressed so far, and I believe there's still more to come. So we're hearing. So we're not quite finished yet. So we did release a few at the end of the season, out of contract players and stuff. There's probably about 10 players left for various reasons.
Was one of them Martin Waghorn?
One of them was Martin Waghorn, yeah. He's contracted, and he didn't really have a successful time, unfortunately, with us. I think he only scored one goal. And he got a bit of stick from the fans as well. But he's obviously a decent player at that level. But he just didn't fit in for whatever reason. It didn't work for him. Some players fit in at clubs better than others, don't they? And he didn't fit in with us, and he only scored the one goal, and he got a bit of stick. The striker, you expect him to score a few more, but when he did have a chance, he didn't really take it, unfortunately. But he got released, and all the loan players went back. Obviously, you snapped up one of our loan players from last year. Excellent, Callum Doyle. He's a fantastic player. You'll love him.
Yeah. That's what Terry wants. An honest opinion on him.
Absolutely fantastic player. He plays out from the back. Strong tackler. Heads the ball well. And he can play anywhere along the back line, I think, really. But I mean, he was fantastic for us, and I was disappointed in a way that we didn't get him back, But I think the fact that you've got the Man City assistant manager there, that probably swayed it a little bit, because I think that used to be his under-21 manager, didn't it, when he was at Man City? So if it wasn't for that, I think he probably would have come back to us. But he's a fantastic player, and I think in a few years' time, it won't be long before he gets an international cap at high level.
I agree. There's one name I wanted to mention to you, Ken. Gustavo Hamer has been linked away from a few clubs, with Fulham, Burnley, a number of clubs after him. Obviously, he's got a year left on his deal, hasn't he, Coventry? He's yet to sign the new deal, or they're yet to talk to him about this contract extension. How have things gone with Gustavo Hamer? Will he stay or will he go, do you reckon, in the window?
That's a good question, because that's what we're all asking. I think the longer it goes on, we said this in our pod last night, in our live show last night. We had a discussion, and I think the longer it goes on, the more chance we've got he's staying. Because I think he would have gone by now if he was going. I think he was holding out for a little bit of a. I mean, he ain't technically gone anyway. He's still got a year left on his contract, so we can turn around and say, look, you've got to stay, and then at the end of the year you go for nothing. That's a bit of a gamble we take. Whether we take that gamble is another matter. As you know, what I don't want to happen is last minute transfer deadline day when the clock's ticking, and someone comes in with a big massive bid, and he's off, and then we've got no time to replace him. Then that's the problem you've got, haven't you? I think if he needs to sign a contract. It'd be nice if he signed. He knows the club want to sign a new deal. Hopefully he will. I'm pretty hopefully he'll be with us come the start of the season, and hopefully he'll sign a new deal, and it'll be both for both parties, and come to an agreement because he likes it here, and I think you don't mind if your Premier League club come in for him, and he's got a benefit. You don't mind people standing in his way, and he could have bettered himself. That's fair enough, but I'd rather him do it quicker rather than later because we need to get a replacement because he's a fantastic player and he's going to be hard to replace.
Very true. Good player. Ken, I'm going to ask you about Leicester City, mate. What's your initial thoughts on Leicester? Go on. New manager. They've brought in the new players in Connor Cody, Harry Winks, Matt Hermanson, Mavadidi, and obviously Callum Doyle. What's your initial thoughts on Leicester? Obviously, a lot's changed since we played you 11 years ago, mate. What's your initial thoughts on Leicester now, mate?
Well, I was surprised they went down, to be fair, because you look at the team they had on paper, and they should have been nowhere near the bottom three, should they really?
No.
Let's face it. I mean, the players they had, we know Maddison well because he's a Coventry lad. We started at Cov, and he's Coventry, he's born and bred here, and he obviously moved on to Norwich and then other clubs, and he went to Leicester. Now he's got a big move to Tottenham. It'll be a big miss for you because he's a fantastic player. And when you look through the squad that you had, I don't know what quite went wrong in the background. They must have had issues that the players maybe stopped playing for each other. I don't know what happened, whether it was a Brendan Rodgers thing, because when he left, it all seemed to fall apart for you, didn't it? For whatever reason. I mean, I don't know what was going on, but I was very, very surprised to see him down there struggling. And I still thought you'd get out of it, even coming the last few weeks. I thought, well, they're good enough to turn it around. They've got good enough players to turn it around. And I was just surprised. I suppose it didn't happen for you.
No, it was a well-winded season for Leicester. Second worst home record in the league. The players, you could say were going out of contract, would eye moves elsewhere. Then you're looking at Harvey Barnes and James Maddison again. Yeah. They wanted bigger moves. Maddison talked about it the other day with Leicester. He has love for the club, of course he does, but he said, I didn't want to leave Leicester on a sour note. But the thing is, with Maddison, I think even if we did stay up, he would have gone anyway, to be fair, because he deserved to play for a bigger club. I'm not saying Tottenham's one of them, to be fair. Obviously, no European football. I was surprised he made that move, to be fair, when he could have gone to Newcastle and played Champions League football. But
I was surprised at that. Yeah.
Our squad fell apart last season. We lost so many games. We were running out of time. Brendan Rodgers, throwing the owners under the bus, the players and everything like that. And then the board as well took the finger off the button and it just capitulated. And, you're losing games where you think, we've got a chance here. And then, you think to yourself, you should be beating Leeds, Everton, them sort of teams around us. We weren't doing that. We're dropping points there. And you're thinking, what's going wrong here? And then the last game of the season, we turned up hoping that Everton wouldn't get anything out of that game against Bournemouth. But we ended up going down. But I think we kept Brendan Rodgers for too long. I think with Brendan, he's got a 3-year shelf life, and he as a manager, he's always good for like 3 years, and then
and he loses the plot a little bit.
That's it. He's finished, isn't he? It's just, I don't know, but last season it was a horrible one to take.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about the new manager that's coming. I know he's obviously assistant manager to Pep at Man City, but he's obviously got some sort of pedigree. So, I mean, do you know much about him, the new manager? Because I don't know much about him.
Well, Maresca was the Premier League two manager. At Man City, the under 23s manager, whatever you want to call it.
That's right. That's how he knows Callum Doyle.
Yeah, won the trophy there. Managed under Pep after Mikel Arteta left. So he's learned a lot in the school of Pep Guardiola. He obviously looks like Pep as well, innit? You know what I'm saying? It's a mad combo. But he did manage at Parma early on in his career. You know what I mean? Where I think he only won one game out of 14. But like Leicester fans said at the start, it's the gamble you take in it. Is because sometimes you're good as an assistant, but not quite get it as a manager. You get what I mean? And
we've seen that many a times, haven't we? Many clubs of assistant managers have gone on to not make good bosses, and some have done really well. So it's a bit of a gamble, but I suppose you've got to give him a chance. So if you don't give him a chance, you don't know, do you?
I think I'm optimistic with him, though, Ken, to be fair. He speaks a good game. He wants the right mentality. He wants us to play kind of like Man City football, isn't it? This quick attacking football, play out from the back and not slow it down. Us.
Yeah, I mean, if you play like that and we play like that, it's going to be a cracking game on Sunday. I can tell you now that's what we play like. We play out from the back, and that's how we play. That's what we've always played over the last couple of years. So, if you play like that as well, so it's going to be. I think there'll be plenty of goals in it.
I think it'll be a battle. Obviously, Ant says you cry at Wembley, Ken.
I was very upset. There was plenty of. There's a young lad in front of me crying. Unfortunately, he didn't stop crying, but but we just had to sort of try and cheer him up and say, look, there's going to be another chance, and but he wouldn't have none of it. He just cried. He was on our minibus on the way back, and it was unfortunate. He was really upset. But yeah, I'm a bit older and wiser, so I've been there, done it, and
that's it.
Seen the good bits and seen the bad bits, so I'm a bit used to it. But I did. It is a bit hard to take when you lose on penalties.
It is.
You get so far, and you think, I didn't want it to go to penalties. I'd rather lose in normal time than penalties. If you could turn up and play bad and lose, and fair enough. But to lose on a penalty shootout is a bit cruel. But as you say, someone's got to win at the end of the day. Someone's got to lose. So at the end of the day, we didn't have the luck on the night, and that was it. And we just going to fight another day and try and build again, and back into the Championship and go again. And hopefully we can improve on last season.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of them, innit? At the end of the day, the playoffs is a horrible thing to take at the end. It's a lot of heartbreak. But no, I think Maresca will do well at Leicester. I think he'll do well. They're on about bringing Casady in from Chelsea. They've been linked with this Crystal Palace winger who looked good at Charlton last season. So Maresca knows what he wants, and you know what I mean? You've got to have, he wants the players who's going to fit that module. It's not just anybody coming in. It's got to be that right player. And I think Mark Robbins is the same, innit? It's got to fit that style of football.
Yeah. And it's all right being players being available and the fans going, oh, why don't you go and get him? But he might not be right. He might not be right for the team. He might not play the way we want to play. You know what I mean? It's just in one of them things. You've got to get the right players in that's going to play to your style, really.
Could not have asked for a nerve-wracking game. It is. You know what I mean? Ken, what was your initial thoughts? Like, I'm going to ask you it before we talk about predictions for both teams this season.
Yeah.
What was your initial thoughts on the Leicester opening day fixture then? As a Coventry fan, obviously looking at the fixtures and that. Well, was Leicester the one that you wanted?
Well, Leicester was the one I was looking for straight away. I seen it straight away. When it come out first, I thought, bloody hell, we ain't messing around and them straight away. And then you think, well, the Sky TV picked that fixture out, for the opening game. And they've got Burnley, Man City as well with Vincent Kompany as the live game. And you think, well, hold on a minute, Sky had something to do with this. All these thoughts come into it, don't they? So it's very, very interesting first game, to be honest. And I was looking forward to it because, our rivals, we're sort of stuck in the middle between Birmingham and Leicester. Yeah. Our rival last year with Birmingham, obviously.
You played it at Birmingham as well, though, didn't you, Ken?
We played that as well. Yeah. We did. We played there a couple of seasons. Yeah,
did you play at Northampton Town as well?
We played at Northampton when we had issues. That was the old owners. We had issues with the ground.
Bloody
So
hell.
the fans have been put through the mill. We've been travelling all
they
over
have.
the place. You
They
know,
lost
we had
the
to go
Arena as well, didn't they? To the, was it London Wasps? And then I
Wasps.
think London Wasps went bust, didn't they, in the end?
They've gone bust now, so they've gone because that didn't go down well with the football club. Obviously, with Wasps going in there, there's a lot of sort of hatred going on with it, and a lot of stuff going on. In the end, they went bust, and they've gone now. So the football club are back in there. We've got Mike Ashley actually owns the stadium.
He does.
Yeah, he owns the stadium. Mark Ashley, Fraser's group, they bought the stadium.
Yeah.
And obviously Wasps are gone, and we've signed a long-term contract there now. So we're back there full time, and hopefully for good. We don't have to move again because that ground was built for football. You know, at the end of the day, it was never built for rugby. And the Coventry City Council had a lot to do with it because they had a hand in bringing Wasps in the first place. So that didn't go down very well either. But anyway, we're back, and hopefully we're there to stay now, and we don't have to move all around the country and play our football.
Because you used to play at the old Highfield Road, was it, before?
Yeah, Highfield Road before. That was, to be honest, yeah, I mean, in hindsight, we all wish now.
I bet that brings some memories back, doesn't it, Ken?
Yeah, we hadn't.
Played Leicester there.
Yeah, we haven't. I wish we hadn't left Highfield Road, because I don't know if you'd ever been to Highfield Road. Probably not. You hadn't been there.
Too young.
Yeah, I thought that. But that's all knocked down. That's all knocked down there. That's all houses now. But yeah, it was an old traditional football ground. It was quite a decent state, to be fair. It was all right. It weren't too bad. It weren't the worst. It's probably a lot better than Luton Town, who have gone up into the Premier League. It's probably a lot better state than that ground. But it's a nice ground, Highfield Road. But obviously, when we moved to the Rico, it was all looking good, you know. And then it went sour. Obviously, we got relegated then, and things went from bad to worse. So. You know, we didn't expect that, and then obviously we hit money situation, new owners, struggle with money like a lot of clubs have, and it all went downhill, and we had to go right down to the League Two and work our way back up.
True.
That's
they've been through the tough times, haven't they? Leicester have as well.
We have, yeah.
They've been down in the lower leagues, you know. It's not.
Yeah, I've been to the old Filbert Street as well. I've been there a few times.
Which ground do you prefer?
Tell me, do you prefer? Do you prefer Filbert Street or do you prefer the King Power?
I think Filbert Street's the old school, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was a proper football ground, you know what I'm saying? But
traditional,
I don't know. King Power's new, in it. You know what I mean? It's obviously a modern ground and all that.
Yeah.
You know, it's a nice ground when you like look inside it and that. Obviously, you know, it's different. And I think when you move from an old ground, what you're used to then a new ground, it's something you're gonna have to get used to.
Yeah,
and I think that's something we had to do as Leicester fans and as a club. So
very similar to us. Very similar to us, and that's very similar to what I think as well. I mean, I liked Highfield Road. Don't get me wrong; it was great, but it was in a residential area. It was all pretty cramped, but it was good. Old traditional.
Grimsby Town's like that, though, isn't it?
Yeah, very similar. Yeah,
residential.
Very residential area, but atmosphere. You're close to the pitch. You know, you're really on top of the players and stuff like that. And I enjoyed it, and you know, I really liked Highfield Road. But you know, now since we built this Rico, I suppose we got used to it now. You know, since we've been back and forward, but I think we're back used to it now. So it's not a bad ground. They've made a few improvements as well. So this year they've got a new pitch on there as well. We spent a bit of money on the new pitch. So after the rugby club messed it all up for us.
Bloody hell!
But yeah, that's another thing when you share with the rugby
teams, isn't it?
Share with the rugby club, your pitch gets all messed up and you can't play.
We did that before. I think Leicester Tigers played it Leicester before, and that happened. And then you got to change the pitch and everything like that. And then
exactly. You can't play your pretty football like you like playing, and because come the winter time, it's all there's holes and ruts in it everywhere. It's terrible. It really, really was bad.
I agree.
But anyway, they've gone there. Yes.
Here's one for you, mate. Where will both teams finish this season then? Where have you had Cov firstly?
Well, we discussed this yesterday as well. I honestly think with the signings he's brought in, quality signings in, I think we're stronger than we were last year. And we did well last year, to be fair. So I think we'll finish in the top, certainly in the top playoffs positions. And that's what I'm going for. I think it'd be great if we get automatic. It'd be fantastic. And I don't want to go through the playoff situation again like last year. It'd be great to finish, top two. It'd be brilliant. But realistically, I think definitely top six, possibly top four.
I'll tell you what, Ken, I've got Coventry down as the playoffs. I've got them down as playoffs this year. It'll make you happy, that one, hearing the Leicester fans say that Coventry are going to finish in the playoffs. What about Leicester, Ken? Where do you think Leicester are going to finish, mate?
Well, I think with the money they've got, and they've got the ability to, they've obviously got a bit more money than us. You've got your parachute payments coming down. So if you need to improve at any time, you can. You can go out and buy players if you want to. And you can probably pay a bit more wages than we can because you'll have a bigger budget. So I expect Leicester to be up in the top two this year.
Do you think they'll win the championship?
I think they've got a great chance. I think it'll be between yourself and Leeds that will probably win it.
That's what I've gone for, top two, Leicester and Leeds.
Yeah, and then we'll be in the playoffs somewhere along, around the top six somewhere, hopefully. But as you know, it's a very unpredictable league. Anybody can beat anybody on the day. And you're always going to have a surprise package that's going to come up and surprise you.
Yeah, this league, like people said to me, like, Jack, listen, like, you're going to walk the league, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. I said, no. I said, we're not. Well, you know what I mean? We're not going to go to the championship and stomp through the championship. It's not as easy. It's all right, easily saying it. It's doing the whole thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the championship's difficult. It's a difficult league. You're not guaranteed to go back up. You've seen the likes of Norwich who went up 3 times, didn't they, in the championship under Daniel Parker.
Norwich and West Brom. West Brom struggled last year as well.
Watford as well.
Yeah, you'd expect them to put there,
guaranteed.
They struggled.
I think it'd be tough. You've got 23 teams who will want to scalp Leicester this season, who want to beat us. Maresca said it. So I think I'm a bit excited by that. You know what I mean? The tough challenge that comes with it. You've got to earn your way back up, haven't you? And that's the way we're going to have to do it this season. Yeah,
of course it is. And it's not. Look, it's always nice to play in the Premier League, but it's not nice, when you get relegated. We've had that before in the past, and it's not a nice feeling. But you just got to look to come back stronger, haven't you? At the end of the day, that's what you aim to do. And if you can get back up straight away, that'd be brilliant. That's what you've got to aim to do. It doesn't always happen in the first year. Sometimes you might have to wait, a couple of years. You need a bit of luck as well along the way. Injuries, decisions to go for you, match could change.
Talk about Leicester with injuries, Ken. Have you seen bloody Leicester's injury list since the move to Seagrave? That's it's like a medical complex. It's our training complex. We've had more injuries than any other club, and it's like now we've brought like Connor Cody in £7.5 million. He's injured already, and you're thinking he's never been injured. He's never been injured in his football career, and now he's actually injured. And when you talk to Maresca about it, it's like, I don't know what the injury is. I don't know what it is. It looked like a foot injury, but they're not even sure what the injury is and how long he's out for. He will miss the COF game. And you're thinking, the guy who's never been injured in his career comes to bloody Seagrave, and there you go, Leicester, hello. Nice to meet you.
we had it similar to last year. Callum O'Hare, one of our best players last year.
Yeah.
He got injured at Sheffield United on Boxing Day. And he was a really big player for us, and we missed him. So we did well, really, to finish where we did without him. Because we thought that's it, the season will be over when he got injured. And he's still out now. He's not going to be ready till September because he had a bad injury. So
it's bloody horrible, isn't it, when you lose all your key players?
Yeah. But that's when you've got to have a strong squad, haven't you? You've got to make sure you've got strength in depth.
Yeah, agreed. Ken, Leicester v Coventry. M69 Derby. How do you prepare for this one? We're going to go through stats, score predictions, team selections, foot in both camps later on. What's your initial thoughts ahead of this one then, Ken? How massive is it, the M69 Derby, after 11 long years since you played Leicester City? How big of a game is this for, Ken, going into Sunday, mate?
It's a massive game, especially first game. First game of the season is always big. Because you're trying to get off to a winning start, but to play your local rival,
this one's even bigger.
Even bigger, isn't it? Especially we're away from home as well, so we're the ones, the underdogs, if you like. because you've got home advantage. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a massive game for us. I think the players will be up for it. From what I hear, Mark Robbins is certainly up for it.
Former Leicester player.
Yeah, former Leicester player as well. That's right. Yeah, we'll come out flying. There's no doubt about that. So whether you'll be surprised at that, I don't know. But we'll come out flying, and I expect a lot of goals in the game. To be fair,
same here.
I don't think it'll be 0-0. I very doubt it's 0-0.
This one for me is a massive game. It's biggest game in the start of the season. You know, you couldn't want a better game, really, could you, Ken?
Not really, no. Test yourself.
This one, an M69 Derby. It's a testing one. It's a game that you relish. This one, I think the players will leave it all out on the pitch. It's going to be a battling game. You know, both sets of fans are going to be up for it. Coventry fans in the corner, Leicester fans around. You know, they're going to be well up for this one. And we're excited to see when Coventry came out that they're playing Leicester, and it's on Sky as well. So this one's a massive game, and it's the bragging rights, isn't it? The M69 bragging rights. This one in the derby, and that's what makes it even more better. You know, I think it'll be a cracking game, an entertaining game full of goals in this one. I think Maresca's football, you'll see it in flourishes of the game. I think Callum Doyle will really look forward to playing Cov again. Potentially try and get on one of them headers from a set piece.
Yeah, he never scored. He came close a few times for us last year, but he never quite scored. He never scored, but he was fantastic for us in that run up to Wembley. He was fantastic. But he's a danger at set pieces. I'm sure we know all about.
Where are all the goals coming from within the squad? I'm not sure. Not really sure, to be fair. I don't think you can answer that, can you, Ken? You know what I mean? When people ask you where's the goal's going to come from, you know, you're thinking anyone can pop up with a goal at any time. It could be the defender, it could be a goalkeeper from a goal kick. Do you know what I mean? We've seen it happen. So I think
tell me about Jamie Vardy. He's back in
Vardy.
I mean, he was out the picture when he under Rodgers for a bit. Did he have a fallout with him? And then he came back.
Yeah, he fell out with Brendan. He didn't like Brendan Rodgers. You know, the way he treated Vardy, you know, it was one of them. And, you know, Vardy's like, he was a great Premier League striker, wasn't he, Jamie Vardy?
He was,
goals, broke all these records and that. You know, and a bit of a thing between Rodgers and Jamie Vardy for sure. And you don't want to fall out with one of the team's best players. And when you start doing that, that's when the team's thinking, well, what are you going to do to us, Dave, if you're going to fall out with him? But it's a bit of one of them behind the scenes. I don't really know too much detail about it. The one game where we played Manchester United in a 1-0 defeat, he brought Vardy off, and the look Vardy gave him the daggers. It's just like, mate, something's not right here. You know, I think Brendan knew he was well under the caution. When you fall out with a lot of the players, in which Rodgers did, it's one of them. But Vardy can score goals. He needs the service. Of course he does. He's not getting any younger as he can. He's 36. Right. He can score goals at this championship level. He is proven to do so with the partnership of David Nugent once upon a time, Ken, in 13-14 when we won the title.
I remember it.
So I'm excited to see Vardy this season. I think he'll relish. I think he'll flourish under the Mavididi winging position and getting the balls into him. And, you know, I think he just needs to be hungry, and I think that's something he'll do. Obviously, he struggled with a bit of an injury over pre-season. I don't think it weren't serious. Obviously, he's fully fit now. So I think he'll be hungry this season for goals. He's got 1 year left on his contract. So we'll see what happens regarding Jamie Vardy. But Ken, what's your initial thoughts on Jamie Vardy, mate, as a Coventry fan?
Well, obviously, he's a quality striker, and anybody wanting in their team. I was just thinking, whether he's still in the picture at Leicester, do you think he'll start most of the games, or do you think he'll come on off the bench? I don't know anymore.
I think 46 games and cup games and that, Ken. You know what I mean? He's aging
that.
He's going to give other strikers a chance. And I think Maresca's going to change it up a bit, giving like Iheanacho the chance, or Patson Daka. Unless he brings in another striker, of course, and one of them leaves, then obviously we've been linked with Joel Pirot from Swansea. I mean, have you watched Joel Pirot as a striker, Ken? How good actually is he?
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's fan. I mean, he didn't sort of set the world a lot when I've seen him. Seen him a couple of times. But he's a quality player. Obviously, he's a good player. He scores goals, but I'd say I'd probably say there's better players out there than him. I don't know. That's just my opinion. It all depends on your style of play again, doesn't it? You know, being the right player to fit in your right team with the right attitude and stuff like that. But I think there's probably better players out there. But he is a quality player. You know, there's no doubt about that. But whether he fit in your style of play, or I don't know.
I don't think when strikers come to Leicester, Ken, you know what I mean? You've got the thing of sitting behind Jamie Vardy, you know what I mean? Until Vardy's done, then we'll give you the opportunity as number one striker. But while Vardy's here, you're never going to be that number one striker, you know what I mean? And I don't think he'll play the whole of the 46 plus cup games next season, Vardy. I think we will change in that. I think Vardy does fit the Maresca style of football. This fast-flowing football, getting into them positions and
and he's still very
them defenders.
It's still very quick, Vardy, for his age, isn't he? Still very quick. Yeah.
Let's have a look. Who captains Leicester this Sunday then? There's been talk of Ricardo Albrighton and Jamie Vardy, so we'll have to wait and see. We've not picked a captain yet. Do you think Sharky will play much this season? I think Albrighton just fills in it, for players who, when we ain't got that position, obviously we ain't got a right winger at the minute, so we're having to put Albrighton there for now. And Albrighton is one of them players, isn't he, Ken, who really gives 100% for teams. Obviously, last season, it didn't really go well for him at West Brom, did it, when he did go out on loan to the Championship?
No, he didn't. He didn't, to be honest. No, he was in and out of the team, even in and out of the side there, and he didn't do a lot for them, to be fair. But he's one of them players that you can, Mr. Reliable, if you like, isn't he? He'll fill in when need be, and he'll do a job.
I agree. Let's have a look at some stats, Ken. The head-to-head championship stats: 14 games played in the championship between both sides. Wins 6-1 for Leicester. Draws seven draws between the two sides. What do you make of stats, Ken? Are you one of them who reads stats going into games?
Well, not really. I mean, stats are there. Obviously, it's nice to have a look at the stats and think, oh, we haven't.
It is.
I like to look at teams. I think, oh, we haven't won here. We haven't won at this ground for ages. It'd be nice to win. And a certain team, there is certain teams in the league, like Preston's one for us. We've never won at Preston ever. Never won a game, and yet other teams.
We used to have that sort of thing at Cardiff, you know, where you go to Cardiff every time and you lose.
Yeah, it's bad. They're not a particularly great team, but for some reason,
somehow just managed to find a win to beat you.
Well, you always draw or lose. We never win there. And you always look at the stats when you've got teams like that. But I think a local derby, stats go out the window. That's it. It's just who wants it more on the day. You need a little bit of luck, and it's going to be a hell of a game. I just think there'll be goals in it, and stats go out the window in the local derby. I think personally.
Agreed. Let's have a look at the last 5 games at the King Power Stadium for Coventry and Leicester. Leicester 3-0 against Coventry in 2007. 2-0 win for the Fox in 2008.
I think I went to all them games.
A 2-2 draw, a 1-1 draw, and then obviously last time we played you was a 2-0 win, which we're going to get on to now, Ken. What do you remember of the last time round against Coventry, Ken? Obviously, it was a defeat for the Sky Blues. David Nugent and Jermaine Beckford for the Foxes were on to give Foxes 3 points. Yeah,
not a lot. I can't remember much about it, to be honest, because we got beat. But I think, from what I do remember, we did have a couple of chances and we didn't take them early on. And then and you scored and then wrapped the game up. And that was it. We didn't really offer much after that. But I do recall having a couple of chances and we never take them. You've got to take your chances when you get them. And
did you have Gary McSheffrey back then, Ken?
We had Gary McSheffrey, not in that game, no, but he was with us. Yeah, Gary McSheffrey. I think he scored at Leicester before in the past. He has. I'm sure
played for a few clubs, hasn't he?
Yeah, he played for Birmingham. There's quite a few. on 4. Yeah, it's quite a few. Too many to mention, but he's a local lad, born in Coventry, is Sheffrey. And then he went on to manage Doncaster, didn't he, for a while? And
he did. It didn't really work out for him there, did it?
No.
Sometimes as a player, it don't really work out as a manager. I mean, look at Lampard. You know, he managed Derby. He was all right, Derby. Then he took that big step to Chelsea, and you're thinking, you just ain't ready yet, Lampard. And it fell straight on his face. Then he went to Everton. He kept them up in one of the seasons, and then second season it went absolutely downhill, didn't it, for him? And Sean Dyche ended up replacing me, then went back to Chelsea and lost all them games and all that. So
he would have been better staying. To be honest, he would have been better staying at Derby.
Oh yeah, he got them to the playoffs, didn't he, that year?
Yeah, he probably regrets leaving them, to be honest. But I suppose he got a chance to better his career, and he had to take it. And that's a gamble you take sometimes. It doesn't work out all the time, does it, for you?
I agree. Let's have a look at foot in both camps, Ken. Callum Doyle.
Yeah. Our young player of the year last year, he was Callum Doyle.
Yeah, carry on, Ken. Sorry.
Callum Doyle, he was our Coventry City young player of the season. He got that award last year. Callum, because I said earlier, he was absolutely fantastic for us. He played for Sunderland as well, obviously, in the first part of the season, and then we brought him in. But he was excellent for us, and he'll be an excellent excellent player for you as well, I'm sure. And in the future, I think he's a future England player without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt.
He looks a cracking player. I mean, I watched him partly of Cov last season, Callum Doyle. He can play that ball out from the back. He plays it with his feet. He's very good.
Very confident as well for a young lad. You know, he's only young, and he's very confident on the ball. He's not scared to get stuck in, and he wins a lot in the air. And that's all we can ask for with a player like that.
I agree. I think I'm excited to watch him this season.
Yeah, we're so disappointed that he never came back to us. But I think the Manchester City connection really got that.
David Stockdale, Ken. I mean, David Stockdale was at Leicester when we had all these goalkeepers back in League One. I mean, I think we had about 6-7 goalkeepers that season. Tony Warner, Carl Ike, David Martin, Stockdale, Ben Atwick. We had bloody nearly every goalkeeper. David Stockdale.
He didn't play a long stretch of games for us, did he? I think he got brought in as cover, didn't he? I think our keeper at the time, I can't remember who it was at the time, got injured. And he played a few games, and he did all right, to be fair, from what I remember. He did okay. But I think he was only brought in as a stopgap because we had an injury or a couple of keepers was injured, and he played a few games, and he did well, to be fair. But it certainly weren't I don't think he was brought in as a long-term deal. I think he left. I don't think he played many games, to be fair. He left shortly afterwards.
Yeah. James Maddison. Great player at Leicester. Very technically gifted. A great centre attacking midfielder. Deserved to play at the highest level. James Maddison. Scored some cracking goals. He did do well in a Leicester shirt. I did wish him all the best. No hard feelings towards him, but we was expecting him to go for sure. But James Maddison from Coventry lad, came through your ranks and that, didn't he, Madders? And
I did.
I think he played for Coventry as well, didn't he, Ken, in the first team?
Yeah, he played in the first team. Yeah, he played in many relegation battles for us as well. So fantastic player. You could tell straight away with Maddison how skillful he was and how he'd go far in the game. It was only a matter of time before a big club come in for him. And we were obviously disappointed when he did go, but he went to Norwich from us. I can't remember what the fee was, but I think we got a good deal. We got a lot of add-ons and stuff, England caps and stuff like that. So every time he gets capped by England, I think as a payment comes to us somewhere along the line. all these add-ons they have.
No, it's mad.
He come through our youth team. Absolutely fantastic player. Brilliant at free kicks, as you might well know.
Yeah.
He used to, tell you a story about it. He used to practice in his back garden as a 10-year-old. And because his parents live not far from where we live. He comes down to Cov quite a lot to see him. And he used to practice as a 9-10-year-old all the time in his back garden, like till late at night. It's getting really dark, and he's still taking his free kicks and his portable goals in his back garden. and his dad used to say, "Get in the house, you can't stay out there all night." But that's that little story. That's what he used to tell us. He told us in the fans forum what happened, and because people asked him about all his free kicks, but he just didn't stop practicing. And that even in training, I think he was the last one off the pitch, because he used to stay behind and practice.
Yeah.
Practice free kicks and practice makes perfect, as they say, don't they? You can just tell him how many goals he scored from a direct free kick.
Agreed. David Bell.
David Bell, yeah, I remember him. God, he played for Luton as well, didn't he, David Bell? I'm sure he did.
He played for Leicester. Played for Leicester as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Was he a winger for you lot, David Bell?
A winger, yeah. He played on the wing, yeah. Yeah, he scored a few goals, David Bell. Yeah, he was all right. Yeah, he did okay. He's a hard-working player. Scored a few goals. He made a few appearances from what I can remember. But yeah, definitely. I certainly remember David Bell. Yeah, he was. That's a blast from the past. That is David Bell.
It is. I'd put one in there, Ken. Martin Waghorn.
Who's no longer with us now. He's gone on a free transfer. I think he's going back to Derby, isn't he? From what I'm hearing, he's training with Derby.
Paul, I think.
Well, he was training with Derby. I know that. I don't know what if they because he lives up that way. I think we've still got a house up there. But he didn't do a lot for us last year. He scored one goal. I think that was a penalty as well. He didn't do a lot, to be fair. He's obviously a decent player at that level, but it just didn't work out for him for whatever reason. We had Big Victor Gokres up front, so he was always going to struggle to take his place because he was very rarely injured. So he was never going to take his place, and the only time he'd come in if he was injured and or if he was short on players, that's the only way he'd come in. So
agreed. We had him on loan to start off with from Sunderland. Did well at Leicester as a young lad. Martin Waghorn scored some great goals. And one against QPR where he chipped Carl Ikeme from distance. Great player, proven goal scorer. But like they say, never fall in love with these loan players, don't they? Because you know what I mean. Sometimes it works out on loan. Sometimes when you then go and sign them permanently, it never works out. But I don't feel Waggy was good. He scored goals for Leicester. He had that connection with like David Nugent and that, and he was good. But I think with Waghorn, Paulo Sousa brought him back here I think it was just to save Paulo Sousa's skin from all that the demise of what Paulo Sousa were doing. I think we lost like 6-1 or something to bloody Portsmouth or some sort. And that was Sousa's last game. He did bring Martin Waghorn back in though for £5 million. He flourished under Nigel Pearson, Martin Waghorn. A great young player. He was one of the fans' favourites at one point, and then he sadly ended up leaving like all players do, Ken, to be fair. And it's a shame when they do go. But now Waghorn was a good goal scorer for Leicester. And he linked up well in the team, and I think Nigel Pearson got the best out of him. But an all-round good player in the Championship. And he's proved he can do it at other clubs, hasn't he? Like Coventry can score goals, Derby. I think he's been to Huddersfield as well, hasn't he, since?
He went on loan there, yeah.
Yes, it's a mad one. Ken, we're going to go on to team selection, mate. Give me your 11 for Leicester v Coventry then, mate. What are you going for? How will you line up?
Well, we'll probably line up with 3 at the back, I'd say. What players are going to play where, I don't know at the moment. Obviously, we've still got a few players to come in, obviously, I think. Got a couple of players we're not 100% are going to be fit. although we're hopeful, but they're not going to be 100%. But I'll certainly say we'll play three at the back. That's what we normally play. 2 wing backs. We'll probably play. See, sometimes away from home, Robbins likes playing 1 up front, but I think he'll play 2. Personally, and I think it's difficult to say. First game, you always try and gauge it the first game of the season because you think, oh, he's going to play that way all the time now, or
they like to trial a few things, don't they, with players in the first couple of games. Who fits the system, who doesn't, who comes in, who goes out. So it's all. I think that's what Maresca's going to have to do as well.
Yeah, so I think we'll play and I probably think we'll probably have 5 across the middle. I think that's what he'll do, and he'll play 2 up front.
Yeah. From a Leicester perspective, I think we'll go with Matt Hermanson in goal. Back 3, you'll be looking at Callum Doyle, Yannick Vestergaard, potentially Timothy Castagna. Then we move into, then we've got the likes of Harry Winks, Wilfred Ndidi, Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. Then we'll have Mavididi, Ricardo, potentially Mark Albrighton, and who do we go with up front? It probably will be Jamie Vardy, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's what Maresca's thinking. I could say Vardy, and then he might think, oh, well, yeah, Nacho might be better, or Daka. Do you know what I mean? You never know on the first game who your striker's going to be. And I think, I'm going to go with Vardy, Albrighton, Ricardo, Winks, Ndidi, Dewsbury Hall, and Steffi Mavididi, Doyle, Vestergaard, and Timothy Castagna and Matt Hermanson. I think that'll be the team for Leicester. It's a strong team, but it's just about I think with the first game of the season, it's about trying a lot, what works, who fits the system, who's giving it their all, basically. And I think that's something the mentality comes into it as well, doesn't it, with players who want to be at the club and who doesn't. So I guess that's something Maresca's going to have to do. And I think that's something Mark Robbins will look at, won't he, Ken, this month with Coventry players who could leave the club. Like with Gus Hamer, it's got to be someone good enough to fill his boots on it this season.
Exactly. I'm hoping Hamer will play on Sunday. I think the longer it goes on, I said earlier, the longer it goes on, I think he'll start the game. Goalkeeper, it'd be interesting because I don't know whether they'll play Ben Wilson, who kept all them record clean sheets for us last year. So they brought in lad Brad Collins from Barnsley, the old Barnsley keeper. And he was an excellent keeper, by the way. He's played in a couple of the friendlies so far. So I don't know whether he's going to start or whether Ben Wilson will start. So it'll be interesting. Either or for me. I'd rather. I think Ben Wilson certainly deserves to start because of what he did last year. But obviously, he's brought in this new keeper from Barnsley, who's by all accounts he's quite decent, and he might go with him. I don't know because they're both played in pre-season, so it'll be interesting to see what he does with a goalkeeper.
It will. Ken, we've come to that time of the show. And this is the final question. And score predictions, the one, Ken. The M69 Derby, you think there's going to be a lot of goals?
I do.
What do you reckon, Ken? What's your score prediction ahead of this one, mate? Guys, get your score predictions in the comments. Let me know where you think it's going. Is it going in Leicester's favour? Is it going Coventry's? Or will it be a draw? Let me know. But Ken, go on.
I'm going to go for 5 goals in the game.
Yeah.
5. And I'm going to say we're going to pinch it 3-2.
3-2.
In a dramatic game, yeah.
Is that Callum Doyle scoring for Leicester, Ken?
Well, I don't mind him. Listen, I don't mind him scoring as long as we win.
As long as he don't celebrate against you, you're all right.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he does celebrate, wouldn't it?
It would, but I think it'll get on one end of the crosses. I think he's a good player, a good lad. Spoke to him the other day.
Well, we've got to do a lot of homework. We should know him well enough, so hopefully we've done our homework.
He'll obviously know how you lot play as well. So I
think exactly. Yeah, definitely. Without a doubt.
I'm gonna go 3-1 Leicester. I'm going to go 3-1.
Really?
I think we'll start the season off strong. We've got to. It's a game where we need to win the game. It's about bragging rights and all that. Derbies is what they are, and I think it'll be a real scrappy game between the two sides. A real battle in that midfield between Dewsbury Hall and Hamer, and they're going to go at it. It's going to be an exciting game of football, and you won't want to take your eyes off the game at the King Power, or even if you're watching it on the telly. I think it's one of them games. Two hungry sides who want to get them 3 points to start the season off well. So I'm going to go 3-1. I'm going to go for Callum Doyle to score. I think Jamie Vardy will get one, and I tell you what, I'm going to go Steffi Mavadidi, and for Coventry, I'm going to go Ellis Sims.
Ellis Sims to score on his official debut.
Sims to score, yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully he'll get a few for us this year, Sims. I'm pretty confident.
Let's look what the comments are saying. Leicester team 4-3-2. Hi, Jack. Hi, Ken. 2-2 depends what lineup in. And I don't know how Leicester are playing under Maresca. 3-2 Leicester. It's a lot of goals, Ken.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of goals. Because both teams are going to play nice football, I think. And there's going to be mistakes. So if you come out from the back, there's going to be the odd mistake, isn't there? And I think that's when players have got to pounce and be ready to pounce. Do
you play your football now along the floor, or is it obviously before you used to play over the top football, didn't you, with Gokarex holding the ball and taking the defenders on? Is that how do you feel he's changed that now in the effect since selling Gokarex, or do you think he'll use Sims in the same way that he used Gokarex?
No, I think he'll use Sims in the same way as Gokarex, because since Robinson's been there, he's always played attractive football. We very rarely hoof it up the field. You won't see us hoof the ball up. Very, very rarely we do that. We always play out from the back, and we always play nice one-touch football if we can. So,
Ken, if we could go on the pitch to score, it'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
It would be great. Yeah.
I know, it'd be fantastic. 1-on-1. That'd be an half-time thing, Ken, not in the game.
Half-time, yeah. That'll be a challenge.
We'll get him one of them inflatable ball things, and we'll try and get you scoring each other's net. But no, Ken, thank you for coming on, mate. Do appreciate it. Before you go, Ken, let everyone know where they can find you and what you do at Sky Blue Fans TV. Yeah,
Sky Blue Fans TV. Basically, we're everything Coventry City. Any Cov fans? I know we've got a Leicester. Believe it or not, we've got a Leicester branch, Leicester and East Midlands branch somewhere along there. So I'm sure they're all tuning into us. That's all ex-Cov people, obviously moving out the area, and continue to support their team if you like. We've got branches all over the place, so you can get us on all the major platforms. YouTube and Spotify and all that. Everything, all the platforms we're on, and we do our shows on a Thursday night and a Sunday night at 7:30. Two shows a week. So our next show will be reviewing the Leicester game from Sunday on Sunday evening at 7:30.
You might need them tissues, Ken, just in case, mate.
I've still got a few left. Still got a few left from Wembley, I think.
But no, Ken, thank you for coming on, mate. I appreciate it. And the M69 Derby begin on Sunday, Ken. All the best, mate.
Can't wait. Cheers, mate. Thanks very much.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye. That was Ken Stewart from Sky Blue Fans TV. All things Coventry. If you're a neutral, go and check them guys out. I was on their show yesterday talking about Leicester City. So if you can go and check that out, that'd be free. What's coming up on the final? What's coming up on the final whistle? I was going to say, but no, we've done some content on the final whistle championship predictions. Go and check that out on the channel now. Really much appreciate. Go and let me know all your predictions ahead of the championship and that. Obviously, the first game's tonight, Sheffield Wednesday versus Southampton. So you'll see what I went for in that game. I did a show earlier, the press conference reaction. Go and check out all my reactions about what I thought about Maresca's interview, press conference and all that. So go and check all that out. The match day vlog will be back on Sunday, so go and check that out. A massive one at the King Power Stadium. The M69 Derby, Leicester versus Cov. It's going to be an exciting match day vlog and a game full of goals, I reckon. And if you see me, come and say hello. Come and give me your score predictions and all that. And hopefully it'll be one to not take your eyes off. So yeah, thank you, Jack and Tor. Appreciate it, mate. And yeah, that is it for me. Take care, everyone. If you've enjoyed the stream, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you again very soon. Hi all, thank you for watching The Final Whistle. If you enjoy all our content, please remember to smash a like, share, and subscribe to the channel.